I did my cultural project on McCamey, Texas. And here you can see where it's located here in West Texas in the very, very arid climate and about 45 minutes away from anything. So, what was my selected culture? This summer we moved here, and I found out quickly the population's about 1,800 people. And of those 1,800 people, 70% of them, more or less, are of Hispanic ethnicity, even though they don't speak Spanish as their dominant language, which I found interesting. We're about 45 minutes away from the closest chain restaurants and Walmart. So we're very isolated here. And I noticed real quickly that the population has a mix of Mexican and rural Texas culture, which really intrigued me. They're also surrounded by oil fields and windmill farms, which also influence the culture and the way people interact here. I selected this community because I'm going to be teaching these kiddos from this town, and I really want to be able to interact with them in the very best ways possible. I wanted to know as much as I could about their background. I chose these pictures around town to give you a better feel for what the town is like, and hopefully the small town essence really comes through in my pictures. How did I conduct my research? Aside from observations in the first few weeks of living here, I also looked at the most recent census. I pulled up the town's city budget documents and minutes from their town meetings to get a better feel for what's going on in the town. And I also spoke with people around town. I spoke with my waitress at Elena's, which happens to be the only restaurant where you can actually sit down and look at a menu in town. I spoke with the doctors and nurses here at the McCamey Clinic, which is about 2 minutes down the road from my house. Unfortunately, we've had several visits here already since we've been here. I specifically spoke with a nurse who's lived here her whole life. She had lots to tell me about small town life and how she wouldn't want anything else. And finally, I've spoken with a few of the football coaches. Here you can see a view of the football field directly behind my home. So football is king in this small town, and the coaches had lots to say about the culture of the area. What did I learn from my interviews and observations? First of all, obviously I noticed that it's very isolated. People value their families. They're all about getting together over food and football. As a newcomer, people have been very, very, very welcoming, and they're all very curious. Why would I come here? They almost immediately say, "Are you a teacher?" Because the only new people in town are generally teachers, and they don't stay very long. But of course, because of the fascination with high school football, they all want to know if I have any sons that'll be playing on the team. New meat for the team. Everybody is very close-knit in this area. People don't change. They've lived here for generations. Their parents lived here. They've lived here since they were kids. I spoke with an older gentleman the other day who said he always planned on leaving and he saved up his money and it just never happened, and now he's too old to move. People stick. Everybody I spoke with loves living here, and they don't have plans for leaving, most of them. They all say, yeah, they know big city life is appealing to a lot, but they're just used to it around here, and they like being able to know where their family is going to be playing and who they're going to be playing with. And some of the adults commute back and forth to Odessa, which is the closest big city, so to say. But they love living here, away from all the hustle and bustle. There's a lot of kids around in the streets playing. The kids are obviously still out for summer, but this community comes together and they put on something called Summer Rec. So all of the kiddos get to go from 8 to 12, Monday through Thursday, and it keeps them off the streets. It keeps them occupied. Parents know they're safe, and they get fed free lunch. So, I mean, it just all speaks to the community and family nature that you can see everywhere you look in this tiny town. It's a nice place to raise a family, is what I keep hearing over and over again. What conclusions can I make that I can apply to my teaching? I found this picture on the McCamey ISD Facebook page of a couple of the little faces I might be seeing in my classroom next week. I can conclude that because we are so isolated, these kiddos aren't going to come to me with a wealth of experiences. This is the life they know. So it's going to be up to me to make sure that their lives are enriched within the walls of my classroom. I'm going to have to fill their little minds with experiences through books and rich vocabulary, as generally children who are isolated like this and from an area of poverty don't have the best vocabulary. So we're going to put words all over the walls, and we're going to talk a lot, and we're going to make our own opportunities to learn about characters and backgrounds that we might not have experienced before. I'm not going to be giving very much homework this year because I've already seen parents work. They're not going to be home to help kiddos in the evenings, and as I've already stated, evenings are filled with family time and sports. And I'm sure I'll catch up with all of them at our Friday Night Lights games. So it's going to be a new experience, and I can't wait to be completely immersed in this new culture. And I wanted to end with just a couple of pictures from around town, one of the beautiful mesas that surround the city, and then this great sign that you can see as you're coming into town, which I just find absolutely hilarious. Thank you for listening. You're serious.